Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah abnana tullab, and welcome to a new English lesson. Today inshallah we're going to study Unit 7 page 62. And our lesson today inshallah we will be in two parts. The first part will be listening, and in the second one we will discuss some grammar. And now let's start with the listening. In this listening you will hear two people talking about their neighborhood. They are discussing some points about this neighborhood. What you are required to do is to listen carefully and take the points that are true about this neighborhood. Now listen, and while you are listening, take the points in your book.
Unit 7, Lesson 3.
Morning, Mrs. Solano. How are you today?
Oh, hi, Sandra. Okay, but the lift's not working again.
Oh, no. And I have a load of shopping. Let's sit outside for a while.
It's nice here, but I miss my garden. I used to have a nice garden.
A garden? Really? So you lived here before they built the apartments?
Yes. Look, here's a photo of the street before they developed it. The houses were small, but there was more contact with people.
I know what you mean. I've lived in my apartment 3 years, and I've only met 2 people.
I used to see my neighbors almost every day. The kids would always play in the street, except in winter.
Really? Well, we have the play area, but it's not a very pleasant place for the kids to play.
You're so right. The apartments are very functional, but for older people, it's quite lonely sometimes.
I can imagine. Well, I like it here, but I've always lived in apartments. They're easy to keep clean, and they're cheaper than houses. The supermarket is really convenient, too. Still, I'd love to have a garden.
Yes, we used to have some nice flowers and an apple tree in ours.
Okay, let's see if the lift is working, and you can come up and have a cup of coffee.
Thanks. I'd love to.
Now check your answers. Now we come to the main point of our lesson today, which is the grammar point. And today, inshallah, we will discuss the difference between used to and would. When I say the difference between used to and would, here I am talking about the past. If it is past habit or past state. Used to and would in this context are used to refer to the past, and especially to past habits. It means that something that was going in the past, but it doesn't happen anymore. In this exercise, inshallah, we are going to know when to use would and when to use used to. هنا احنا هنتكلم عن الفرق بين الاثنين دول. Used to would, used to and would can have the same meaning. ممكن نفس الاستخدام ونفس المعنى. And sometimes I can use used to not would. يعني ممكن استخدمهم الاثنين، وممكن ان انا استخدم واحدة فيهم بس اللي هي used to. Used to is used to refer to past habits. When I say he used to smoke, when I say he used to live in a big house, when I say he used to swim in the morning, this means that he used to do this, but he no longer does it. And so let's start with number 1. I used to see my neighbors almost every day. This refers to, when I say I used to see, I used to see. This is past habit or past state. So this is habit. In the past. We can't replace used to with would. In this context, لما نيجي نتكلم عن العادة اللي هي الhabit, I can replace used to with would. ممكن استغنى عن used to واستبدلها بكلمة would. يبقى the first information here is that would can replace used to. يمكن استخدامها مكان used to but in one condition بشرط واحد اللي هو تكون habit past habit. طيب number 2 the kids would always play on the street except in the winter. Would always play is it habit or state? Yes, it's habit. So we can replace would with used to. يبقى المعلومة اللي بتقول لنا هنا الإعادة اللي فوق بنقول إن I can replace would with used to. I can replace used to with would. أستخدم أي واحدة فيهم الاثنين بشرط past habit not state. I used to have. هنا بقى الفعل have هنا not action not it's not an action it's not habit. I used to have a nice garden. Have refers to state. So this refers to a habit or state. It refers to state. And in this context, when I am talking about states, we can't replace used to with would. باختصار شديد عندي habit اللي هي العادة وعندي state اللي هي الحالة الماضية كله في الماضي. But when I'm talking about habits I can use used to or I can use would. استخدم أي واحدة فيهم ما فيش مشكلة. But if I'm talking about a state لو الحديث عن حالة اللي هي زي عندنا في الجملة هنا have state I use used to not would. في الحالة دي بستخدم used to وليس would. Someone may ask what's the difference between habit and state? واحد ممكن يسألني يقول لي والله أنت عمال تقول habit و state what's the difference between habit and state؟ إيه الفرق بين دي وبين دي؟ أنت عشان ما تتعبش نفسك look at the verb. Is it an action verb like this? See في شيء في فعل بيحصل فينا see it's see and here we have play وهنا احنا عندنا play كل ده action verb هنا عادة. Okay but like this have it's not an action verb so I use what I use just used to because it's a state not an action or not a habit. Now let's practice some exercises to learn more about the difference between used to and would. Decide if it is possible to use either would or used to or only used to. إذا كانت الإمكانية إن أنا أستخدم used to would الاثنين مع بعض عادي مفيش مشكلة. وإذا كان just used to لو فقط بس used to بس underline used to بحدد used to. Okay. At my grandma's house we used to would eat. Habit or state? Very good. It's habit. So I use both. استخدم الاثنين عادي مفيش مشكلة. We used to would live in an apartment. Live. It's live. It's a stative verb. So it's a state. 3. When we were children we used to would go swimming. Go. Yes, action verb. So I can use both. Grandpa used to would walk. Yes, very good. Both are possible. Number 5. Did Mrs. Solano used to? Would Mrs. Solano belong to the local residents association? لو نظرت الجملة هلاقي عندي هنا belong to so this is state. الحالة هنا فيها state belong state. Okay. وفي حاجة مهمة جدا هنا برضو يا أبطال إن أنا ده سؤال and would is not used in questions. هنا في سببين. السبب الأولاني اللي هو it's a state وده اللي احنا بنركز عليه في درس النهاردة it's a state belong. والمعلومة الإضافية إن أنا بقول إن would is not used in questions for past habits or states. So the answer is did Mrs. Solano used to. أقدر ألخص كلامي ده في النهاية وأقول لكم إن أنا بستخدم used to would للحديث عن الماضي وبالأخص الأشياء التي كانت تحدث في الماضي ولم تعد تحدث الآن. But the difference between used to and would, الفرق بينهم الاثنين إن الاثنين يستخدموا عادي في نفس السياق بدون أي تفرقة if we are talking about past habits. لو بنتكلم عن أحداث ماضية، وده على حسب نوع الفعل، زي مثلا eat, swim, go, play، كلها أفعال فيها حركة. ولكن if I'm talking about something that is stative، حاجة بقى فيها ثبات، زي كلمة مثلا live، زي مثلا هنا كلمة belong، زي فعل زي have. In this case this is state. في الحالة دي بتكون state and so I cannot use would. ما أقدرش أستخدم كلمة would. Just use used to. شكرا جزيلا وأتمنى لكم التوفيق، وإلى اللقاء مع درس قادم إن شاء الله.